Star Wars Outlaws. Is it good? Yeah. In Star Wars Outlaws, you play as Kay Vess, a relative nobody in the Star Wars universe with no Jedi powers or allegiance to any one cause. She often finds herself on the wrong side of the law as she's always looking for big scores. Early on, she gets a bounty put on her head, so in order to clear her name, she must attempt a heist of a lifetime. In order to do so, she must put together a crew, and that's what you're doing for most of the game. This is mainly a stealth game. I'm terrible at stealth games, but somehow I managed to be quite good at this one, probably because the enemies were quite stupid and easy to pick off one by one. Unfortunately, you can't move enemies when you take them down, so this did get annoying when their bodies would get spotted. Most missions are go to location and steal an item. The locations you have to break into often have lots of different entrances to break in and out of. The amount of choice was very impressive. There's also lots of different approaches you can take inside, from hiding in vents, climbing on walls, and lots more. If during a stealth mission you get caught, you'll either get sent back to a checkpoint, or you can go guns blazing depending on the objective. Kay only has a blaster and some grenades, so she's not very powerful, and this is when the game actually felt hard, especially as she can die after only a few hits. The blaster does feel good to use and has different firing modes that need to be changed for different enemy types. There are other weapons in the game that she can pick up, but she'll drop them when they run out of ammo or if she's leaving an area. With you nearly at all times is a pet called Nyx. Nyx is a very likeable and cute animal. It's also very useful, as you can ask it to lure or attack enemies. It can also grab stuff for you, which came in very handy for a stealth game when you don't want to leave cover but want to grab something. The story is quite predictable, and I'd say they throw too many characters at you, so you don't really get attached to any of them, apart from Nyx and an android whom you meet along the way. On your travels, you'll find chests with valuables in them to craft better items and get credits to spend at vendors. To open the best chests, you need to use a lockpick, and this game has by far the best lockpicking minigame I've ever played. The lock is playing a rhythm, and you must match it with the right trigger to unlock it. These are always fun, and I hope other games will steal this minigame in the future. There's also hacking, which consists of a minigame, which is very similar to Wordle, except it's shapes. This was also fun, but far too easy, and I'm not sure how you could fail this minigame. So this game is an open world, but it's also open galaxy, as you can just get in your spaceship and head into orbit. Here you can get into dogfights, get new missions from space stations, or just go around exploring and looting. The dogfighting was some of the most fun I had in the game, as the flight controls were great and easy to get to grips with. While in orbit, you can jump to other planets. There's 4 in total. Fans of the franchise will recognise some of them, and they're all quite diverse. They're all being fought for control by 4 criminal syndicates. Kay has a reputation meter with all the syndicates, and helping different ones can put her in good or bad favour, depending on how she does. Having bad favour with a syndicate can make it very hard to get around areas that they control, because they will throw you out on sight. You can get in their good books by doing side missions. These are mostly easy missions where you have to deliver items, steal items, or plant bugs in different syndicate locations. The missions do repeat, but I was able to get myself in the good books of all the syndicates by grinding these missions for about 3 hours. It's not just syndicates that hand out side missions, lots of people are looking for help in the galaxy, and they'll often call you over while you're exploring. These missions were often fun and a good change of pace. If you want to rest from the game, the best thing you can do is play Sabacc, which I fell in love with. It's a card game in the Star Wars universe, and I wish it had its own game because it's so much fun, and there's lots of people to challenge throughout the galaxy. The game is very good looking graphically, but characters did seem slightly out of focus during gameplay, which is just a minor complaint. The best looking places were the Imperial bases. They were stunning and looked like they were ripped straight out of the movies. I loved them. The cutscenes, however, were absolutely gorgeous, and I could easily watch a feature-length film with these level of graphics. The soundtrack was fine. For the most part, it was its own thing, but there was a few moments where it sounded like it was a Star Wars soundtrack towards the end. That was Star Wars Outlaws, and I'll give it an 8 out of 10.